the gun lobby is so powerful and all they care about is making a profit. And so even though most NRA members actually support common sense gun control, or I should say gun reform, because they get mad when you say control. But no, when most NRA members actually have said, they've done polls and most of them support, I think it's plus 80% actually support common sense gun reform. The NRA corporate folks say nope. I knew people who were killed at Columbine, and I was a student at a school next door in 1999. I was a 17-year-old, and my boyfriend at the time went to Columbine, and it is something that it changes your view of gun violence forever when you're affected by it directly. And in our community, we had many people, well, not many, but several people who were killed during the Route 91 shootings in Vegas a couple months ago. And so I am a big proponent of common sense gun reform. And I think that we really need to be closing the universal background check loopholes. We need to be cracking down on these assault style weapons. We need to be worrying about bump stocks now. That's a new thing in the conversation. And the concealed carry reciprocity issue is a huge, huge problem. We cannot have states with the laxest gun laws making the laws for the rest of the country. What's right for Mississippi or Alabama or Connecticut isn't necessarily right for us here in California. So, and then in addition to that, again, being a scientist, I want to see the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, able to investigate the gun violence epidemic, to study it, to study the causes and what we could do to prevent it. Congress has restricted the CDC's ability to do that since the 90s. And it's time that we start looking into it, because it's not just mass shootings, it's suicide by guns. It's easy access to weapons that's causing domestic violence incidents to be perpetrated again and again with ease and frequency. So, and then also I want to see Congress form a select committee to investigate gun violence too. So, I mean, that's just one example. There's actually a lot of examples. I'm definitely the most progressive candidate in the race. I will say that. Nice. And, but I will say too, that because, politics is really nasty a lot of the time. And I know that in our campaign, we candidates, the Democratic candidates, have pledged to be, nice to each other, relatively speaking. So you're not going to see me throwing anybody under the bus in terms of, oh, she said this, he said that. Like, I want what I believe to stand on its own. So, feel free to ask me more questions or differentiate how you'd like, but I will leave it at saying I'm the most progressive candidate in the race.
I really appreciate that. And I like the way you stated it. Here's my views. She's got different views. And, there's nothing attacking there. I just want to state for the record, I went to Columbine, class of 88.
Oh, did you?
And
my
wife's brothers were in the school during the shooting. So it's a small world. And
Yeah, I went to Mullen, which is, down the road. Yeah.
I went to Mullen, 9th grade and half of 10th, I got kicked out.
But oh my God, that's awesome. I think they wanted to kick me out at one point, but, they let me stay.
So they opened Mullen up because it was all boys.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they did. I think it was like 8 or 9 years before I started going there. But I was class of 2000 at Mullen. But I went to public school until high school. My parents said, you're going to go to Catholic school. So, but yeah, my first 2 boyfriends went to Columbine. So most of my friends were there, and it was bad. Have you been since they redid it?
I got a tour from Leland Andres in 2005. I went back and he walked me right through the school, and they were like, who is this guy? I said, he's got a tour. He's an alumni. He just took me on there. But if you know Leland, he ran that place. So.
Oh yeah. Him and Frankie D. Frankie D was, he was the man when I was going to Mullen, and my friends were all there. So, but no, I mean, it changes everything, and the community. The big thing too. One last thing about gun violence, unless anybody wants to talk about it anymore. But I will say that the thing that just tears me up inside the most is when you hear people after every mass shooting say, "I never thought this could happen here."
Right.
And I want to grab them and go, yes, it can. It can happen anywhere. That is the one big takeaway everyone should know, is that right now, because of the gun laws that we have in place that are not doing enough to protect people, it could happen anywhere, literally.
Right. It absolutely can. And I just want to thank you for bringing up the CDC. It is criminal. I don't even understand how Congress has the power to block them from doing studies on gun violence. It's just insane.
Yeah. It really is. And I mean, that's what we need. If you don't have data and you're looking at problems, you're flying blind again. Like you have your eyes blindfolded and you're just fumbling around in the dark. And that's what they want, because the gun lobby is so powerful and all they care about is making a profit. And so even though most NRA members actually support common sense gun control, gun reform, because they get mad when you say control, but no, when most NRA members actually have said, they've done polls, and most of them support, I think it's plus 80% actually support common sense gun reform. The NRA corporate folks say nope. And the rest of the gun lobby goes right on board, and they keep, Knight has received money from the NRA and Friends of NRA and all that. So, he's on board with them, and that is a really personal motivation for me to get him out of office.
Good. We don't need anybody taking money from the NRA. We need to get the NRA out of our government, 100%.
Yes.
We're going to break. You have been awesome, and I wish we had another hour to talk with you, but we don't. We're going to run over anyway, so I'm just going to say right now, would you please come back on our show so we can talk more?
Sure, I'd love to. This is really enjoyable. You and Laura are great.